Welcome guys, this is your friend Naruto Addict 3.0 and we are back with a new fanfic. What if Naruto and Hinata became a couple before the Priestess mission? Part 1. Let's start this fanfic. What? Tsunade-sama, we have a mission from the demon country that is very unusual. Shizune said with a worried look on her face. She handed the scroll over to Tsunade, her hands shaking. What is it, Shizune? It couldn't be that bad. Tsunade said as she took the scroll. She opened the scroll and started to shake. Are they serious? 2. Hokage of Hidden Leaf Village. Requested mission. We request that the Hidden Leaf help the Priestess Shion in her quest to continue the line of priestesses. She has specifically requested that Naruto Uzumaki be the father of the next priestess. Any female children fathered by Naruto Uzumaki will become priestesses and children of the demon country. The demon country will facilitate the expenses of any male children. The male children will be the wards of Konoha and Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto will be expected in 6 months to start the process of siring the next priestess. We are also not worried about his marital status, as it is Shion's choice for the sire. I would prefer he was trained for some of the social graces of high society gatherings, as he will be meeting with some dignitaries. We will pay whatever rate for this mission you deem necessary. We also would like for one guard to accompany him. We will also pay for this guard. From Lord Hanyo Dynamo of the Demon Country. Tsunade chuckles quietly. He helps saves both the Swamp Country and the Demon Country, and they want to have his children. Tsunade-sama, Shizune asked questioningly. Get me both Hinata Hyuga and Ino Yamanaka. I have special assignments for them. We have some training to give Naruto. Also get me Iruka, he may be needed also. Tsunade smiled and rolled her eyes at the same time. Yes, Tsunade-sama, I will get them right away. But what type of training will Naruto-kun need? Shizune asked. Well, my little brother is being asked to be a father, by the priestess that he rescued, and she pulled some strings to get this arranged. Also get me Sakura Haruno. I have some questions about that mission. Tsunade said as she folded her hands together in front of her face on her desk. Yes, Tsunade-sama, Shizune said as she left the room. Sakura arrived a few minutes later, closing the door behind Shizune and herself. You summoned me, master? Sakura asked as she bowed. Yes, Sakura, I did. I would like to know exactly what Shion asked Naruto at the end of the mission and what he said in return. Please be specific. Tsunade leaned back in her chair and tapped her right index finger on the arm of the chair. Sakura gulped while worry crept over her face. Well, she asked him if he would help her in continuing the line of priestesses. He wholeheartedly agreed and promised to help. I was stunned by her request but not by his reaction. I am sure that he did not understand the, shall we say, hidden question. Tsunade leaned forward, leaning her elbows on the desk and folding her hands as her brow furrowed. Sakura, how many girls in the village would allow Naruto to father their child? Please be honest. Sakura shifted on her feet and seemed to be uncomfortable with the question. Truthfully, I can only think of maybe 1, maybe 2, some of the others would only like to date him or feel like he is a brother, while others openly despise him. I would be counted in the brother group. I love him like a brother and worry about him. Most of those that would want to date him are more looking for boy toys and not a relationship. Last but not least is Hinata and possibly Isaribi. I know that Hinata is in love with the goof, heaven know why. Isaribi appreciates what he did for her and I do see a connection between them. That is about all I can tell you. There was a knock on the door. Come in, Tsunade yelled. Thank you, Sakura, you may stay and watch the fun if you like. Tsunade said as she turned away from Sakura and towards the door. The door opened and Hinata, Ino, and Iruka all entered the room, closing the door behind them. Tsunade smiled and took a deep breath and sighed. Thank you for all coming on such short notice. I just got a mission for our lovable loudmouth and I need your help. All three nodded at Tsunade's statement. Okay, Naruto needs lessons in several things for this mission. We have up to 6 months to get him ready. Hinata, Ino, either one or both of you will accompany Naruto on any mission he has in the next 6 months. As you are both children from noble clans, you were raised to be able to deal with those of high society. Naruto needs a few lessons in manners. Okay, he needs lots of lessons. Iruka looked confused and decided to speak up. I know Hinata and Ino would be good at giving Naruto those types of lessons, but why am I here? I have classes to teach, Hokage-sama. Tsunade waved off his question. I was getting to that. Now I do not want to hear any screams or shouts. Do I make myself clear? All present nodded. Tsunade took a deep breath and let it out. Priestess Shion of the Demon Country has requested a mission through their dynamo. Sakura gasped and shook her head as Tsunade nodded her head. She has requested that Naruto father a child with her, specifically a female child. The knucklehead made a promise and did not know what he was getting himself into. So I need all of you to help him through this. This is not a marriage proposal, as the priestess cannot marry. She is allowed to have children, but any male child will be given to the father to raise. So plainly speaking, she only needs him to produce a female child. I need one of you girls to help him out if he sires a boy. Heaven knows he is a nice young man, and might even make a good if not a great father. But he needs to be taught some basic things. Any questions? Iruka nodded. I am sure that Naruto slept through the education portion of his training, as did Shikamaru. I could give him a refresher course. My big problem is that he has spent so much time with Jiraiya. I would need a female present to tell him and reassure him that he is not doing or saying something wrong. Sakura smiled evilly. I think Hinata would be good for that role. I am sure I might fly off the handle with Naruto, and we need him to learn from a gentle touch. Right, Ino? I agree that she would be great at that job. She is patient and likes Naruto, Ino said, but was interrupted by Hinata. Ino. Sakura. Please. Hinata pleaded as she blushed heavily. Hinata, is this true? Do you have feelings for Naruto? Tsunade asked calmly. Hinata turned an even brighter shade of red. She looked down and then scuffed her foot. Please do not ask that question. Hinata, if you like Naruto, why have you not spoken to him? Tsunade asked with concern and comfort in her voice. Hinata stood up straight and held her clenched hands at her sides. I could not tell Naruto-kun, I am too scared to. What if he rejects me or spurns me for being weak? Tsunade chuckled as she crossed her arms on her desk and said in a soothing voice. We all know Naruto. When would he ever turn away someone who showed that they had concern or affection for him? He would be overjoyed by it. He has lacked it for most of his life. But what about my father? He would never approve of me having a relationship with Naruto-kun. Hinata said as tears rolled down her face. Do you love him? Tsunade asked calmly. What do you mean? Hinata asked in return as she wiped the flowing tears from her face. Just what I asked. Do you love him? Tsunade asked with caring in her voice. Hinata collapsed to her knees on the floor weeping. Yes. Yes, I love him. Okay. Now you just need to tell him. I can handle your father if he has a problem with your liking Naruto. Trust me, I can deal with him. After I get through with him, he will even ask you to marry him as soon as possible. Tsunade chuckled. WH, what do you mean? Hinata asked, looking through tears as Sakura and Ino attempted to comfort the distraught girl. That doesn't matter. But first I would have to ask you a few questions. Tsunade continued as she waved off Hinata's concerns. What are your questions, Tsunade-sama? Hinata asked while she continued to cry. Would you still love him if he had children? Tsunade asked while smiling kindly. That wouldn't matter to me. I love him for the person he is. I just don't know if he would love me back. As for question if he had children, I do not care. They are part of him and I would love them too. Hinata said through her tears. Good, then I have one last question. Tsunade paused to make sure she had Hinata's full attention. What would you give up for Naruto? You say you love him. What would you give up for him? Hinata stood, her eyes red and puffy. I would give anything to see Naruto-kun happy, my life, even my love for him. I would give up my place as head of the Hyuga, I would fight my father, I love him that much. Hinata's face looked resolute in her statements. Okay, Iruka, Girls, here is what is going on. The land of demons has delivered a mission for our lovable knucklehead Naruto. The priestess is asking for Naruto to father a daughter. The mission is ongoing until he succeeds, but any male child will be Naruto's and any female child will be Shien's. The reason I asked you those questions, Hinata, is that there is a possibility that working with Naruto on this mission will cause you to slip and either push Naruto into something he is not ready for or do something that you are not ready for. Tsunade took a deep breath. I wanted to know how far you would go for him. I know Ino and Sakura think of him as a brother or close friend. They care but would not put jealousy in the way of a mission. And that is what this is, a mission. Tsunade's tone became motherly. If you love him, go to him now and tell him. If you need support, ask. Your father and family will not, and I repeat, will not get in your way. Tears started anew with Hinata as she smiled. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Sakura, could you help me with this? Sakura nodded. Of course, Hinata, for you and Naruto I will do this. Sakura looked at Tsunade, who nodded. You both may leave. Shizune, get me Hiashi. I still need to talk to Ino and Iruka. They can fill the two of you in when you get back. Shizune nodded and left with the two girls. She closed the door behind them. Tsunade turned to the window. Okay, what do we do with the knucklehead? I am sure he has no clue what will be going on and with Hinata and the mission. While he is one lucky boy, he is also totally clueless. Opinions. Ino spoke up. I would suggest teaching Hinata the contraceptive jutsu. I am not sure, but I think that she may get involved and actually teach him what to do with actual experience. Iruka nodded. Also, Naruto will be confused in that Hinata is going to tell him that she loves him. Then he will be asked to betray that love in a way to another woman to have a child, possibly more than once. If what you say is true, then he will be busy for a couple weeks, then have to wait a month, possibly 9 to know if the mission was a success. If it fails, how soon would she want to try again? Also, what would this do to Hinata? I know she is strong, but will her feeling last through this? Should she be the guard the mission asks for? Iruka said as he found he had more questions than answers. A knock on the door brought the discussion to an end. Enter. Tsunade said as she turned to the door. Iruka and Ino, you may go. We will discuss this further. Hiashi entered the room as Iruka and Ino left. You called Hokage-sama. Tsunade folded her hands together. Yes, Hiashi, I did. We have a few things to discuss. First, I must know your honest opinion of Naruto Uzumaki. Hiashi looked up, bringing his hand to his chin, and appeared to be thinking. He stood there for a minute, then finally responded. The boy is a good shinobi, has many fine qualities. I believe he is strong but lacks discipline and thus has a weak mind in regards to things not shinobi. Also, I harbor no ill will towards the boy for what was put upon him. Actually, I believe he has done well to fight against the odds. Also, I owe him, and my clan also owes him. Tsunade perks up at this. How so? During the Chunin exam he fought my nephew, Neji. He not only beat him, he also changed his heart, and mine. He showed me how savage and how wrong the curse seal that my clan uses. He also showed me that I was treating those close to me wrongly. That includes my daughter, who has blossomed into a fine woman because of him. Why do you ask? Tsunade nodded. It has come to my attention that your daughter has feelings for the Gaki. Hiashi smirked and nodded. I have known this for some time. That is why I have not forced a marriage upon her. I was hoping that she would either move forward or move on with the boy. I am not sure how well it would be received if he were to marry Hinata, but at this point I am not opposed to it. Tsunade smiled. I am glad to hear that. I have some information that may placate the people who oppose such a union. And that is, Hiashi looked directly at Tsunade. He is the son of the fourth and Kushina Uzumaki. Tsunade smiled as she said this. I see why you did not say this in the beginning. You would have seen my attitude as self-serving and wanting to have my family close to the heir of the fourth. Am I correct in assuming that that was a test to see if I was more worried about status than my daughter? Hiashi asked with a smirk. Well, yes, for the most part. Also, I wanted to be able to prove that he is worthy of your daughter, seeing as how much she likes him. Also, there is a complication. Tsunade furrowed her brow. What would that complication be, Tsunade-sama? Hiyashi asked with a raised eyebrow. How would you feel at having extended family? Tsunade said with a chuckle. I am sorry, I don't understand. You know the success of the mission in the demon country. Yes, and I know Naruto was key to that success. What does that have to do with extended family? Do the Hyuga still stick to the tradition of having intercourse out of wedlock constitutes a marriage? Yes, why? I still don't see where this line of questioning is going. Hiyashi said, perplexed. Well, your daughter may push to complete that version of marriage with Naruto. Tsunade said with a large smirk on her face. I see, and what makes you think she would do that? Well, today we received a mission from Demon Country, requesting the services of Naruto specifically and in a specific way. She started to smile wide as she handed Hiyashi the scroll. Hiyashi's eyes went wide as he read the scroll. He finally put it back on the desk while a smile was plastered on his face. I see why you would say that she might want to jump ahead of the competition, so to say. But it is not unheard of for those in power to have lovers on the side. If she does so, then if she does not argue with the mission, I see no problem. Just a side branch of a family, and it would be up to Naruto to deal with it. Hinata would not have to do anything for it unless she wanted to. That is if she does follow through with what you think she will do. If her reaction is any indication, she does not want to lose Naruto. But she says she is willing to do so for his happiness. That in itself shows maturity. But I am sure she might either get selfish or lose herself in the moment. Tsunade said with a smirk. If that happens, that I will need your backing for dealing with both the clan and Naruto himself. Hiyashi said with a laugh. If he has a problem, we will deal with it. We have 6 months to get him ready for this. Do you think Ino and your daughter are up to it? Tsunade asked as her face went stern. Do you think the boy will learn about what my daughter feels for him? Hiyashi asked with a smile. We can only hope that she can push it through that thick skull of his. Tsunade said with a smile. In town, Hinata and Sakura were looking for a familiar blonde. Sakura-san, do you think I should tell him today? Hinata asked hesitantly. Do you want him? Sakura asked, looking directly into her eyes. Why, yes I do, with all my heart. Hinata said with a stutter. Well then, I have an idea. Either it will kill him or you will get the guy of your dreams. Sakura said with a devilish grin on her face, causing Hinata to become uneasy. They finally found Naruto at his favorite ramen stand, Ichiraku. They each grabbed a seat on either side of Naruto. This caused Naruto to sit straight up and look to both sides. He then smiled broadly. Hi Sakura-chan, hi Hinata, are you guys here for lunch? Yes, and we were looking for you. Sakura said, smiling. Here's how it is going to go, Naruto. We each will buy you 1 bowl of ramen, then we are going to go to the hot springs and then to shopping. Do you have any questions? Naruto scratched the back of his head while smiling. Why are we going to the hot springs then shopping? 3 reasons. First, we need to talk. Second, we need to see how you clean up. Third, you will need some new clothes. Sakura replied. She turned to Tuki. 1 miso ramen please. May I have 1 also? Hinata asked. Naruto, not wanting to look bad, ordered his 8th and 9th bowls. 2 more miso ramen, and thanks for the ramen, Sakura-chan and Hinata-chan. In the back of his mind, Naruto knew something was wrong but just didn't know what. Bathing and shopping, a man's best dream and worst nightmare. Naruto enjoyed his ramen and the company of 2 pretty girls. Wait, did he think that he had 2 pretty girls? Sakura was a given, as he had had a crush on her for a long time. This had faded over the years as he figured that she was still in love with Sasuke and he didn't have a chance. Also, she was safe in that she not take his advances seriously, as he was the demon container and he would not want anyone to be saddled with his problems or hated by others like he was. They finished their ramen and headed to the baths in the northern part of town. They stopped by a couple of shops first to get some swimsuits. When Naruto asked why, Sakura replied, because silly, we need to talk, and doing that over a wall is impractical, so we are going to share a bath. After Naruto got over his initial shock that both Sakura and Hinata were going to share a bath with him, his senses came back to him. He also heard a chuckle from an annoying fox inside of his head. The swim shop owner gave an angry look at Naruto until she realized that the female shinobi accompanying him were not pleased with her reaction. One was also a Hyuga and angering them was always bad for business. They left and got to the bathhouse. Naruto waited outside of the changing room until both the girls had said that they had showered and changed. Naruto entered, stripped, scrubbed himself down and then showered. He then put on his orange shorts and headed to the bath. Sakura and Hinata both sat in the water when Naruto came out. Both girls blushed, Hinata more so than Sakura at how he looked. Training with Jiraiya had done wonders for his body. He had no baby fat left and he was actually less lanky than he was when he was 13. He got into the water and smiled at the girls. So what did you want to talk about? Naruto asked glibly. Hinata blushed and dipped her face into the water, enough to cover her nose as she blew bubbles and turned bright red. Sakura just shook her head. Naruto, be serious, we need to talk to you. Sakura replied with a serious look on her face. Naruto looked down. Sorry Sakura-chan. What did you guys need to say to me then? Hinata raised her head but did not look at Naruto. There is someone I want to notice me. But he is just not seeing me. I want your help in getting him to see me. Naruto closed his eyes and smiled. Sure, I will help you get this guy who seems to be too dumb not to see a pretty girl like you. What type of help? Naruto was interrupted by someone had grabbed his face and placing their lips upon his. They were soft and betrayed the caring the person had for Naruto. Naruto froze, not knowing what to do. He opened his eyes, not sure if it was Sakura or not. He saw a pale face with closed eyes and black hair. It struck him like a ton of bricks. Wait, Hinata likes me. Hinata finally released the kiss and opened her eyes. She looked into surprised and almost fearful beautiful blue eyes. What is wrong, Naruto-kun? You said you wanted to help. Hinata said as she pulled away and looked almost hurt. But Naruto-kun, I love you. Hinata then turned her head as if ready to be struck. Naruto looked stunned and could not even move. How can she love me? Me, the demon brat. No one loves me. No, this can't be happening. She is someone I care deeply about, but I cannot hurt her. They will hate her like they hate me. Sakura smirked and looked at Naruto. Say something, dummy. She just said she loved you. What are you going to do about it? Naruto expression changed from deer in the headlights to fear. He moved back to the edge of the bath and started to shake his head slowly, mumbling. No, I can't have her hated like I am. Sakura heard what Naruto was saying and understood what he was talking about. Hinata, he isn't saying no to you. There are some things we need to talk about. Sakura said quietly to Hinata. Naruto, get over here, Sakura said in a stern voice. Naruto, not wanting to be hit, slowly moved closer to the girls. Sakura pointed to a spot between Hinata and herself. Naruto just nodded. Naruto has a couple of things to explain to you, Hinata. Listen to them and then make up your mind if you still love him. Let him talk first, Sakura said to Hinata. She then turned to Naruto. Now explain the reason you are not liked in the village or I will. Naruto gulped and then turned to Hinata, but he could not make eye contact. Hinata, do you remember the stories about the Kyuubi and how the fourth killed it? Naruto asked and Hinata nodded. Well, it isn't true. He didn't defeat it. No one could defeat it. It was a force of nature and no Hokage is that strong. What is he trying to tell me? Hinata thought to herself. Naruto stopped and was not sure how to continue until a hand was placed below his chin and pulled his vision to a pair of lavender eyes. Naruto gulped. He could only seal it into someone. He could not seal it into anything other than a living vessel. A living vessel? Do you mean an animal or person, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked. Naruto nodded. The Kyuubi was so powerful that it could only be put into a human, a newborn baby whose umbilical cord had been recently cut. Hinata came to a realization and tears welled in her eyes. Does he mean the Kyuubi was seal in him? Naruto took a deep breath and closed his eyes. I was that baby. The Kyuubi is sealed within me. I am called a Jinchuriki, a human sacrifice. Naruto turned his head and Sakura saw him put on a sad look. So I understand if you hate me now and never want to see me again. Naruto jumped as he felt arms wrap around him and he heard soft sobbing in his ear. He opened his eyes to see Hinata hugging him and sobbing into his shoulder. You have carried this burden so long. I love you even more than before because you have silently carried this burden and never complained. You are so strong, Hinata whispered. Naruto could only return the embrace as tears fell from his eyes. After a few minutes of smiling at the sight, Sakura smirked and cleared her throat. Naruto, there are a couple reasons for this confession from Hinata. First, it has been a long time in coming. Second, you have a mission in 6 months that Tsunade-sama will want to talk to you about. Hinata wanted me here for moral support in dealing with you. She was afraid of rejection. We both know that Akatsuki wants you and you contain the Kyuubi. But as you can see, some people do not care and love you anyways. Sakura nodded towards Hinata, who had not released Naruto. So what do we do now, Hinata-chan? Do you accept that I contain the Kyuubi? Naruto asked hesitantly. Naruto-kun, I love you and don't care if you contain all the demons in existence. You are the kindest person I know and I love you for it. Hinata said as she released the embrace enough to look him in the eyes. She then kissed him again with all the passion she could muster. This time Naruto returned the affection. Sakura smiled and felt a little guilty about watching the budding relationship. Naruto, the other reason we are here at the baths is to clean you up and get you ready to get some new clothes. Your mission will involve you working closely with Hinata as she is going to teach you some things that I am afraid I would not have the patience for. Tsunade will fill you in on the details. So is Hinata your girlfriend now, Naruto? Sakura asked slyly. Naruto broke the kiss, breathing heavily. Since she loves me, and she accepts the Kyuubi, the answer would be yes. Then Naruto straightened and looked terrified into Hinata's eyes. What is your father going to say about this? He might kill me. Tsunade-sama said she will deal with Hiashi-sama. Now we are going shopping for clothes after this soak. Now don't you feel better now that you have a girlfriend? Sakura said with a smirk. Naruto looked confused. What is it, Naruto-kun? What is wrong? Hinata shyly asked. I'm sorry, Hinata-chan, I really don't know what to do now. I have never had a girl like me and I just don't know what to do. Naruto said, his head held low. It's okay, Naruto-kun. We can see what we need to do as we go. Will that work? Hinata asked longingly. Naruto smiled and nodded. He kissed her gently on the lips. And if you screw it up, Naruto, I will pound you. Sakura said jokingly. This caused Naruto to show fear on his face and then look at Hinata, who just brushed his face with a caress and smiled gently at him. The girls got out of the water and turned to Naruto. His eyes went wide when he saw Hinata in her lavender single-piece suit. He fell backwards as blood slowly leaking out his nose as he fell backwards into the water and began to sink. Naruto-kun! Hinata yelled as she re-entered the bath and pulled an unconscious Naruto out of the water. Do you think he will be okay, Sakura? Sakura looked down at him and saw the blood that had leaked out his nose and just shook her head. He will be fine. I don't think he was ready to see you out of your clothes. Sakura said jokingly. What do you mean, Sakura? I am wearing a suit. Hinata protested. You are prettier than you give yourself credit for, Hinata. Sakura said. I see why you wear the baggy coats though. Sakura came back outside with a glass of water and poured it on Naruto's face, waking him up. Naruto saw Hinata leaning over him with a worried look on her face. What's wrong, Hinata-chan? You passed out. I was worried. Hinata said. You saw her in her bathing suit and passed out, idiot. Sakura said. Naruto sat up and shook his head. I am so sorry. I don't want you to think I am a pervert like Ero Sennin. You mean that lecher of a sensei of yours? Sakura asked. Naruto nodded. Well, as long as you keep eyes for Hinata and keep from passing out too often, I think it will be okay. Sakura teased. Naruto, you stay here while we change. We are trusting you to not peek or I will hit you like Tsunade-sama does to your Ero Sennin. Sakura said with a raised fist. Naruto didn't even have the time to peek as he was too busy thinking about what had just happened. Hinata of all people had kissed him and told him that she loved him. He was both thrilled and utterly terrified. She accepted him being the container of the Kyuubi and hunted by the Akatsuki. She did not seem to care about either. Sakura had been a safe bet. She would not accept the pariah and thus he could make all the advances he wanted with no repercussions. She would always say no. He felt a tap on his head that brought him out of his thinking. Sakura and Hinata, now fully dressed, were offering him their hands so that he could stand up. Both wore a worried look on their faces, as they seldom saw Naruto thinking this hard. He accepted their hands and stood up. He walked into the dressing room and took off his shorts. He heard an eep from behind him and turned. He saw Hinata turn 3 shades of red as her head turned away with a large grin and her hand held up to her nose. Sakura, on the other hand, expression changed from smiling to anger as she slammed a fist onto the top of his head. "How dare you show yourself to us, you baka?" Sakura growled. Naruto was now laid on the ground face up. "Sakura, we could at least either dress him or put a towel over him," Hinata said, still blushing. "Now there will be fewer surprises on your wedding night," Sakura joked. Hinata, not happy, grabbed the boxers in the tray and worked on putting them on Naruto. "That isn't funny, Sakura. You could have really hurt Naruto-kun," Hinata said, concerned as she started a medical jutsu to check Naruto. "Nah, I have been doing this to him for years. The Kyuubi patches him up real quick," Sakura said. "Did you think that your abuse and that of others would not have an effect on Naruto-kun? As a medic, you understand head trauma, right?" Hinata asked angrily as Sakura nodded. "How many times over the years have you hit him around the head?" "I don't know, I lost count years ago," Sakura said as she put her hand up to her chin to think. "Some friend you are. You have abused him over the years and not shown him kindness," Hinata said sadly. "Maybe you're right. But he always seems to get me riled up for one reason or another," Sakura replied. "So whose fault is it that Naruto-kun is lying unconscious?" Hinata asked as she worked to put Naruto's pants on him. "Well, I guess it was ours. We asked him to stay outside and he did. But he shouldn't have turned around," Sakura said as she tried to shift some of the blame. "Sakura, Naruto-kun was reacting, that is how he is. I am sure he would have covered up if we would have given him a chance," Hinata said as she was buttoning Naruto's pants. "But you have to admit it was worth the pain," Sakura said with sly grin. "While I did enjoy seeing him some, I am more worried about his injuries." "You are not a weakling," Hinata pointed out. "Can you help me get his shirt on?" Sakura bent down and helped Hinata put Naruto's shirt on. Naruto smiled and giggled as their hands dragged across his stomach. His eyes slowly opened up, seeing Hinata looking at him with a concerned look on her face. Naruto reached up and cradled her face in his hand. "What's wrong, Hinata-hime?" Suddenly he looked around, then down to his crotch, and felt relieved that he had clothes on. Then it hit him as his head started ache. "When did I get my clothes on?" Naruto asked the girls. Hinata sat down and looked at Naruto. "I am sorry, Naruto-kun, we put your clothes on. Sakura hit you while you were still," Hinata said as she grabbed his hand on her face. Naruto's eyes showed surprise, then glassed over and he promptly passed out. "Great, Hinata, now he is doing your routine. Let's finish getting him dressed and we'll get him out of here and start shopping for him," Sakura said, grabbing his coat and pulling one sleeve up his right arm. Hinata pulled the other sleeve up and they zipped up the jacket. They put his sandals on and put his suit into a bag with their own suits. Naruto woke up several blocks away from the bathhouse. "Tell me you didn't see me," Naruto said. He almost pleaded. They let him go and he stood while Hinata blushed. "Okay, we didn't see you," Sakura lied. Naruto looked at her questioningly. Hinata grabbed him by the arm and pulled him down the street. They hit the garment district. Sakura and Hinata gave him choices, and he was surprised that they let him have orange in his clothes, but nothing was totally orange. He did not understand why he got 4 formal kimonos, several night shirts, a new ninja outfit, and a few civilian-like clothes. He found shopping with Sakura was very tiring, but Hinata's calming presence kept him sane. How had he missed this gem of a girl for so long? Naruto then took his new clothes home. Sakura entered the place and saw a new coat of paint on the walls. Hinata noticed but said nothing. Naruto-kun, will you please come to my house for dinner tonight? Hinata asked quietly. Naruto gulped. So I have to meet your father this soon? Naruto asked as Hinata nodded, her eyes pleaded for him to agree. Okay, but I need to see Tsunade Obachan about the mission that I am supposed to go on. We will accompany you as Hinata is going on this mission with you. She will need to be there. And put on one of the kimonos, it will impress Tsunade-sama. Sakura said. Naruto nodded and grabbed one of the non-formal kimonos and went into the bathroom. He returned and the girls could only gasp and stare in awe that he looked great in the kimono. It was dark blue with orange swirls and orange lines in random locations. He tied his headband to his right arm. They then left and walked to the Hokage's tower. Naruto felt weird as the looks he got were not the normal ones, they appeared to be ones of, who is that? Instead of, there is the demon. He grabbed Hinata's hand for reassurance and she looked at him and smiled. Sakura knocked on the door. Enter, came from the other side of the door. Tsunade smiled as Sakura entered and nodded her head. Hinata entered pulling Naruto behind her by the hand. This raised an eyebrow that Hinata was holding the hand of someone. Her vision stopped when she saw Naruto. The question, Minato, left her lips but surprise was shown on her face. So does he clean up good or what, Tsunade-sama? Sakura asked smiling. You look very handsome, Naruto-kun. Shizune commented with a blush. You clean up very good, Naruto, I'm impressed. Now for your missions, Tsunade said but was interrupted. Missions? I thought you only had one. Naruto whined. Your first mission, you will accomplish is with Hinata Hyuga. She is to train you in etiquette. This training will last up to 5 months. Your second mission is back to the demon country where you how should I put it? You are to help the priestess Xian to continue the line of priestesses. That mission will be ongoing until successful. Your first mission is a C ranked mission. The second is a B ranked mission. The details on the second mission will be forthcoming when you complete your first mission. You can start your fifth mission now if you like. Hinata, the missions will be the same rank for you. The difference on the second mission is that you will be Naruto's personal bodyguard. Okay, dismissed. Hinata noticed the confusion on Naruto's face. It is getting late, Naruto-kun, let's go meet with father and have dinner. We can work on your first lesson, table manners. Hinata said as she giggled. Naruto nodded as they quietly left the building. They walked down the streets and he took her hand again. The stairs were the same as earlier ones of confusion and non-recognition. They reached the Hyuga compound and entered. They left their shoes at the entrance. Naruto let Hinata lead the way so that he would not get lost. He saw Neji walking towards them and just nodded. Neji was wondering who the blonde was holding Hinata-sama's hand and why it wasn't Naruto. He looked closer. Naruto Uzumaki. What are you doing here? Neji asked, confused. I was invited to dinner, Neji. I am sorry if that disturbs you. Naruto said while he scratched the back of his head. Not at all, Naruto. I am happy to see that Hinata-sama has captured your attention. Hiyashi-sama said you may visit sometime. Welcome, and I believe he is in his study, Hinata-sama. Neji said and bowed. Naruto and Hinata both bowed and then continued on into the complex. Meet the father. Naruto warily followed Hinata to her father's study. Hinata offered a spot for Naruto to kneel in front of the door. Naruto followed Hinata's lead. She then knocked and waited for a reply. Naruto started to get nervous and looked at Hinata, who just looked back and smiled kindly. After waiting for what felt like forever, they heard a male voice say, yes. Hinata opened the door and bowed. Father, I have brought Naruto Uzumaki to meet with you. Hiyashi was going over paperwork and did not look up. You both may enter. Hinata stood and grabbed Naruto's hand as she then pulled him into the room and then showed him a pillow he could kneel on in front of Hiyashi's desk. After a few minutes of Hiyashi writing on a couple of scrolls, he rolled them up and set them aside. Welcome to the Hyuga household, Mr. Uzumaki. To what do I owe the honor of your visit? Hiyashi asked as he looked at Naruto with a cold, hard stare. Naruto began to sweat and then swallowed hard. Well. Hiashi smirked inwardly. He had accomplished the near impossible. He had made Naruto Uzumaki, the loudest shinobi in Konoha, speechless. After waiting a minute for Naruto to actually try to reply, he smiled. Please do not feel pressured. You came to my house for a reason, am I right? Hiashi asked. All Naruto could do was nod. Well then, let us figure out that reason and then we can proceed. Let's see, you came here in a kimono, a nice one. So you are here for dinner? Hiashi asked. Again Naruto only nodded. So did Neji invite you? Hiashi continued the questioning. Naruto shook his head and looked at Hinata, who just blushed. So Hinata asked you to dinner to meet with me then? Hiashi asked. Hiashi was actually having more fun than he thought he would with questioning Naruto. Naruto nodded as he appeared to be sweating. Hinata noticed and gently grabbed his hand. Naruto visibly relaxed. Hiashi inwardly smirked. If she asked you here, then am I to assume you are wanting to court my daughter? Naruto just nodded, and looked like he was in information overload. Hinata smiled and giggled. Father, why are you questioning Naruto-kun so much? Hiashi looked at Hinata and smiled gently. I must be sure that this man is worthy of my daughter's affection. I know he is a capable shinobi, but is he a good man? I must be sure of this. He claims he wants to be Hokage but want to make sure he will be good to my daughter. Naruto released Hinata's hand and bowed, setting his head on the floor. There is no one I know of who is worthy of your daughter Hiashi-sama. All I know is that she likes me very much and I would do anything to try to make her happy. I am just a boy who does not know much of how feelings work. As you know, I never had a family to call my own. The closest I have is Obachan, I mean Tsunade-sama. She is like a mother or grandmother to me. I know I have feelings for Hinata-chan, but I am not sure what they are yet. I would like the chance to see what they are and where they led. I am sorry if sounds like I might be playing with her feelings towards me, but I am not. Like I said, I do not know most of what people call love. Your daughter has told me of her feelings towards me and I am not going to just push her away when I do not know what I actually feel for her. Naruto rose slowly to see Hinata blushing. I see. So you are after her for her position as heir to the Hyuga? Hiashi asked sternly. Naruto clenched his fists as he straightened. No, Hiashi-sama. If she is heir to the Hyuga or a street urchin, it would not matter to me. Naruto took a deep breath and then let it out. Hiashi-sama, Hinata-chan is the first woman to show me any type of affection other than Tsunade-sama. I do not want to lose that. She is special to me and I am hoping that I will learn what love is from her. What of the pink-haired one? Your teammate, I heard you always wanted to go with her. Why not her? Why do you chase my daughter? Hiashi asked. Sakura-chan is more like what I would call a sister, if I were to place her in a position of affection. She is not what I really need in a girlfriend or possible wife. Naruto replied. Okay, that answers why not Sakura but why my daughter. Hiashi continued to push. Hinata-chan has for a long time been a friend, but harbored secret feelings for me. And me being the dunce I am did not even notice this. I care deeply for Hinata-chan and she is the first girl to give me a chance. I want to show her the true me and see if she still likes me. Naruto raised his hand to forestall the next question he thought was coming. I have also told her about the sealing of the Kyuubi inside me and how the village has treated me because of something I had no control over. So if you are going to forbid her from seeing me because you feel I am the Kyuubi, then you can just forget it. She is old enough to make her own decisions. Hiashi smiled. You pass. What do you mean I pass? Naruto asked. I wanted to make sure you would stand up for your right to see Hinata and that you were not after her for reasons of political gain. As father, I have to look out for my daughter's interests, even if it does not appear that way. You will understand when you have children. You have my blessing to start seeing my daughter. My hope is that she will find what she is looking for in you, young man. She admires you and I am sure she is in love with you. Hiashi then looked at Hinata. This is the reason I have not found a husband for you. I knew would either fall for him or you would get over him. I leave it up to the both of you to decide if your relationship will work or not. Naruto-san, treat my daughter right. Or you know that Neji will not be the only one who will be disappointed. Naruto gulped at the implied threat. Be that as it may, I am happy Hinata has expressed her feeling towards you and you shared your particular situation. You still have a little ways to go in learning manners, but you have presented yourself well so far. Meeting the father of a girl is always hard. I also know you have had a hard life, Naruto-san. Hiashi then smiled a large grin. This worried both Hinata and Naruto. So shall I strike up the marriage documents now, or would you like to wait? Naruto and Hinata both fainted. Hiashi chuckled at being able to get both of the shinobi to faint. That went better than I thought. I wonder how his manners are going to be for dinner. Hiashi thought. Naruto had hit the floor first, then Hinata landed on his chest. Naruto noticed a weight on his chest. He opened his eyes and didn't know where he was. He moved his left arm to feel what was surprised to find a body there. Looking around, he remembered he was in Hiyashi's office. He looked down to see Hinata lying unconscious on his chest. He looked back to Hiyashi's desk and caught Hiyashi suppressing a smile. I see you are away, Naruto-san. I compliment you in your ability to save my daughter even when you become unconscious. When she wakes, tell her that we are moving this meeting to the dining room. I will leave you in my daughter's care. Hiyashi smirked as he stood and left the room. Hinata-chan, are you awake? Naruto asked as he stroked her hair and found he liked the sensation. Hinata took a deep breath, smiled and then let it out. Oh Naruto-kun, is this a dream? Hinata asked, only barely conscious. No Hinata-chan, it isn't a dream. We are lying down in your father's office. He said to meet him in the dining room. So do we want to get married? Naruto asked. Hinata turned red at the question. Naruto-kun, I would like to marry you, but only if you want to get married. Hinata said as she snuggled into Naruto's chest. I know some of the things that being married is, but not a lot. Like how you go about it for one. Naruto asked as he continued to stroke Hinata's hair. Well, Naruto-kun, you can have a long drawn-out engagement, then a large wedding, a short engagement and a short wedding, or you can elope. Hinata answered. She then swallowed hard. You can also have intercourse, and in some clans that is all that is needed for a couple to be married. How does that work? Naruto asked. Well, the simple answer is that you have. Hinata answered as she turned bright red. What? That is all? Nothing else? Naruto asked. No, for some clans that is all that is required. The simple act is enough of a bond that there is no ceremony needed. The Hyuga are one of those clans that hold to this tradition. So if you and I were to go to my, Hinata blushed even redder, and make love. In my clan's eyes you would then be my husband. No ceremony or anything else would be needed. I am sure that if that were to happen we could have a ceremony later. Hinata buried her head in Naruto's chest in embarrassment. I am sorry, Naruto-kun. Naruto chuckled. No problem, Hinata-chan. I did ask. Naruto said. He started to turn red as he thought about what Hinata had just said. So if we just go to your room right now we could just skip all the dating and courtship stuff, right? Naruto asked jokingly to lighten the mood. Hinata. Eep. At Naruto's comment. Not trusting her voice, she just nodded into his chest. Naruto turned beet red and grinned broadly. So Hinata-chan, which would you prefer? Do we go for the quick way or try for the long route? Naruto asked playfully. Naruto suddenly felt Hinata's weight increase on his chest. Hinata had passed out. Naruto chuckled as he calmed himself down, wondering which Hinata was thinking that caused her to pass out. Naruto thought about several things. Someone actually wanted to be with him, and she was even talking about. Things were going fast, almost too fast. Naruto had just figured he would be single the rest of his life, mainly because no one before Hinata had shown any interest in him. He knew he was dense on a lot of things, females being one of them, as he had learned that again from Hinata. She had liked him since they were in the academy and he didn't even notice. He had been so fixated on Sakura that he was now sorry he had spent so much time and effort on her. Hinata started to stir. You okay, Hinata-chan? You passed out again. I am sorry for the question. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. Naruto apologized. No, Naruto-kun, it is me who should apologize, as I just got overly excited that you would think that us going straight to eloping would be fine with you. I was just embarrassed to say that I wouldn't mind if we did. Hinata again buried her head into Naruto's chest. Naruto could tell that she had not passed out as she was pulling his kimono to try to hide her embarrassment. Something hit Naruto like a ton of bricks as he laid his head back on the floor. Now I think I understand why you would always turn red and pass out. Naruto exclaimed. Hinata nodded into his kimono. Shall we straighten ourselves up and head to the dining room? Naruto asked affectionately. Hinata nodded and slowly pulled herself to a sitting position. You know, Hinata-chan, I could get used to you doing that. Naruto said with a huge grin as he looked at Hinata. Hinata blushed. I think I could too, Naruto-kun. Naruto and Hinata both stood. Naruto straightened his kimono and followed Hinata out of her father's office. She led them down a couple of hallways to a door. She opened the door and took Naruto's hand and gently pulled him into the room. Naruto was surprised it was not the dining room but a bedroom. The walls had calendars on it along with several nice paintings. The bed had a lavender bedspread with a lilac in the center. On the windowsill there were a couple plants. Naruto recognized them as medicinal plants. Naruto was drawn to the nightstand. There was a couple pictures of Team 8, but what drew most of his attention were the array of pictures of Naruto. Some made him smile, a picture of him winning his bout with Neji, another was of him grinning while running away from a store clerk. A couple of pictures made him wince. One picture was of him passed out from exhaustion in the academy grounds after classes where he was doing kunai training. A second was of him all bandaged up in the hospital after the failed retrieval of Sasuke. Naruto turned to ask Hinata about the pictures when he saw her standing there in only her panties and bra. She was holding beautiful kimono also. But he couldn't help as his eyes ran up and down her figure. He caught himself and turned. Hinata blushed and covered herself, as she noticed Naruto's blush also. Hinata set the kimono on the bed and walked over to Naruto. She started to pull his chin towards her and he resisted. Naruto-kun, am I not appealing to you? Naruto continued to resist. Hinata-chan, it isn't that. I just don't want to think of me a pervert. Naruto replied. Hinata blushed and giggled. Alright, Naruto-kun, you may be a pervert around me and one other person of my choosing, that is if you were serious about, Hinata blushed wildly. About skipping over the ceremony stuff as you put it. Naruto immediately looked her in the eyes as she nodded. I love you, Naruto-kun. I do not mind you thinking of me in that way. Actually, I am sort of glad you do. Hinata blushed as she spoke. Also, Sakura and I have seen you in the, so you can consider this a reward or payback if you like for that. Naruto's eyes went wide at the knowledge that Hinata and Sakura had seen him. Wah! When did you see me? Hinata blushed brightly. Earlier today when Sakura and I surprised you in the changing room, Gomen, Naruto-kun. Hinata looked down with an ashamed look on her face, then as she thought back to the incident a sly smile went across her face. Your training did you good, Naruto-kun. Naruto scratched the back of his head and smiled. He then blushed, thinking about the possible deeper meaning of what she had said. May I look at you? Naruto asked as his eyes had never left her face. Hinata blushed and then nodded. Hinata looked at him as his eyes walked down her body. She smiled when his jaw dropped as he looked at her chest. She saw that he did not linger there long. She continued to watch his eyes as his vision traveled down her form. He smiled warmly. Do I please you, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked quietly but with a sensual touch to her voice. Naruto's jaw moved up and down but no words came out for a couple minutes as his eyes returned to hers. Wow, Hinata-chan, you are gorgeous. I mean you are absolutely beautiful. Naruto stammered out his compliment. Hinata blushed as she walked back over to the bed and started to put on the kimono. She activated her Byakugan as she turned and smiled as she saw Naruto look her up and down again but admiring her backside. Still like what you see, Naruto-kun? Uh-huh. Naruto replied as he smiled dumbly. Hinata finished getting dressed and held her hand out to Naruto. Shall we go? Naruto nodded but had a confused look on his face. What is it, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked. Well, you said I could be a pervert with you and on other person of your choosing. Who is that other person? Naruto asked. I cannot tell you yet. We need to make sure your training mission goes well. Either during or after the mission I will tell you. Hinata said with a smile as she led him down the hall. You were serious about skipping the ceremony stuff, weren't you? Naruto asked seriously. Hinata nodded. Yes, Naruto-kun, I was and still am. I love you enough to marry you right now in my bed, but I think that we should take some time before we do that. Hinata replied with a loving smile. Naruto put on a foxy smile and took Hinata's hand as they continued down the hallway. They came to a door and entered a large dining room. The room looked as if it could seat 50 or more, but there was only a small table in the middle. Hiashi, Neji and Hanabi were already seated at the table and waited patiently for Naruto and Hinata to sit. Hinata pointed to a spot next to Neji to sit. Naruto waited for Hinata to sit before he sat down. So this is the blockhead you seem to be so fond of. Hanabi sarcastically stated. Hinata slightly blushed and nodded. So are you now part of the family? That was quick, I figured you would take a little longer, Naruto-kun. Neji stated with a huge smirk. Neji-Nisan, how could you say something like that? Hinata said as her slight blush turned into a beet red face, a mix of embarrassment and anger. He is only speaking what is on both of our minds, Hinata. We know of your feelings for Naruto-san. Neji is just teasing you to see if you have added Naruto-san to the family yet. Hiashi said with a smile. Not you too, father. Hinata said, shocked at her father and cousin's boldness. Everyone turned to Naruto to see him hit the floor with his jaw held wide open as he passed out. Do you think we overdid it? Neji asked. I don't know, he is known as the best prankster in the village. You would think that he would be able to take a joke or two. Hiashi replied. I think he is just a baka. He is almost as bad as you, Hinata Onisan, Hanabi stated. Everyone started to laugh except for Hinata, who moved over to Naruto and cradled his head in her lap. You are all terrible. Naruto-kun has had a hard life, he grew up alone. Sure, he did pranks, but they were to get attention, not to hurt people. I am sure he did not know you were joking with him. I am sure he thought you were serious. Hinata chastised her family. We were and are serious. We know that you might have done something that would have constituted a marriage in clan law. We just wanted to know if you were going to do that before or after dinner. Neji said with a serious look on his face. Hanabi laughed. Why would she want to marry that guy? I know he beat Neji-Nisan, but why? He isn't that smart, and he doesn't have a clue. Hanabi stated. Because I love him, Hanabi-chan, because I love him. And we were not going to do that tonight, but if you are so set on it happening tonight, then we can do that if that is what you wish, father. Hinata replied with a stern look. Hiashi smiled warmly at Hinata. I know you love him. He is a good man and I know he will treat you right. However you both decide to handle the marriage is up to you. We were only teasing, trying to make light of the situation. We are sorry if you were hurt in the process. We only want what is best for you. Thank you, father. I know Naruto-kun is a little unorthodox in how he does things, but he is also the man I love. I would do anything for him. Hinata said as a single tear rolled down her face and landed on Naruto's face. Naruto reached up and touched her face with his finger to wipe away the trail of the tear. And I would do anything for you, Hinata-chan. Naruto said as he smiled lovingly at Hinata. Hinata smiled and cradled Naruto's face as she bent over and kissed him on the lips. Yuck! Hanabi exclaimed. Everyone other than Hanabi laughed at her reply to the loving kiss. So Naruto-san, do you need time or do you want to join the family now? Hiashi asked with a kind smile on his face. Naruto's eyes went wide. Now, right in front of everyone. But Hanabi is here. Naruto replied in a panic. That is not what he meant, Naruto-kun. He meant, are you convinced to marry Hinata-sama now or do you want to take some time and think it over? Neji replied with a smile on his lips. I know I like Hinata-chan very much. Other than the fact that she is the only girl who has shown me any affection, I really do like her. I am not so worried that she comes from a prestigious clan. That doesn't matter to me. She has shown me love and I want to be able to return that to her if I can. Naruto smiled at Hinata. I know I am not always the brightest person around. And sometimes I just don't get things. But if she can overlook that and still love me, I would be honored. Naruto moved out of the position he was in and knelt in front of Hinata. He took her hands in his. I don't know how to do things like this. Hinata-chan, I really like you and would do anything to try to make you happy as you have made me. If marrying you will do that, then I have one question. Hinata looked surprised at Naruto. What is going on? Is he going to ask me? Naruto-san, it is traditional that you ask the father before you ask the daughter. Hiashi told Naruto. Naruto smiled and looked at Hiashi. Will you marry me? Wait, I mean, will you let me marry Hinata-chan? Naruto shook his head as Hiashi smiled. Neji and Hanabi both were laughing the hardest they have ever laughed. Naruto-san, you have my permission to ask Hinata. But no, I will not marry you. Hiashi replied with a smirk. Naruto was red with embarrassment and a little angry with himself. He sheepishly smiled and turned to Hinata. Sorry about that. I know I should have something to give you, but I am sorry I don't. Hinata blushed and giggled. That is all right, Naruto-kun. I understand, and this is all so sudden. I know. I am sorry, Hinata-chan. I like to do things as I feel the need to do them. Asking you to marry me is both the hardest and easiest thing to do, both at the same time. Something about it just feels right. I can't say that I love you yet, but I know that I care for you deeply. When you kissed me earlier today, I felt like a void inside of me filled, but also I felt utter fear in that you did not know what you were getting yourself into. I have been hated by the village for as I have been able to remember. I worried that you would be shunned like I have been. I wouldn't want that on anyone, especially you. Naruto looked into her eyes nearly in tears. Oh, Naruto-kun, Hinata said as she smiled and tears of joy rolled from her eyes. I know I am not worthy of you. I could never be worthy of you. I am not worthy because you are the most amazing woman I know. You are kind and compassionate. You were the first to acknowledge me even though I didn't even know it. Naruto was breathing hard. So are you going to ask her or not? Hanabi snidely asked. Naruto furrowed his brow and then stuck out his tongue at Hanabi. Hiashi and Neji were taken aback by Naruto's childish antics. Secretly they smiled. Hinata giggled at this. She then placed her index finger on Naruto's chin and turned his attention back to her. Naruto-kun, you were saying. Naruto looked confused, but Hinata's eyes pleaded for him to remember. Hinata Hyuga, Naruto swallowed hard. Will you marry me? Hinata nodded and swung her arms around Naruto and hugged him for all she was worth. She then kissed him passionately. Some guys have all the luck. They kiss in the afternoon and are engaged by dinner time. That was almost too easy. Neji said under his breath. Yeah, I get a silly Nissan. So when is the wedding? Hanabi asked. Hiashi thought for a moment then looked at Hinata. Does he know? No. Know what? Naruto asked confused. Hinata shook her head. No, I haven't told him yet. Neither did Tsunade-sama. I am afraid of how he will react. Huh, what is going on? Naruto asked even more confused. Hinata has something to tell you and it is important. She can discuss it with you in her room later this evening. You will stay, won't you? Hiashi asked. Sure, that is fine with me. So are we ready for dinner? Naruto asked. Hinata blushed from both embarrassment and from mild shame. She had gotten more than she could have ever expected, but she also needed to face a looming demon, and it wasn't the Kyuubi, it was her own omission of information. Naruto-kun, we do not ask about dinner in such a fashion. Hanabi giggled at Naruto pouting. The dinner became more enjoyable, but also became a lesson in table manners, not just how you eat, but what order you eat in, what conversation topics are good and not good at the table. This continued until the dinner was complete. Hinata showed Naruto to a guest room close to her room. Naruto saw the clothing that was placed on the bed. Naruto asked Hinata not to leave as he had a few questions, well, more than a few. Let me take a bath and we can talk while I take my bath and we can talk about things. Naruto said with a serious look on his face. Are you sure, Naruto-kun? We can wait until after your bath. Hinata said as she blushed. Yeah, I am sure. You have already seen me anyways, so no big deal, and we are now engaged. Naruto said as he started to remove his kimono. Would you like me to join you in the bath, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked sheepishly. Are you sure, Hinata-chan? Something might happen. Naruto replied worriedly. Yes, I am sure, Naruto-kun. Bring your clothes on your bed and come with me. Hinata requested as she blushed. Naruto loosely retied his kimono and grabbed the clothes on the bed as he followed Hinata back to her room. I have a private bath so we can talk in peace and not be disturbed. Hinata said as she closed the door behind Naruto. Set your clothes in the basket by the door. Hinata said as she undid the knot on her kimono. She watched Naruto out of the corner of her eye as they both disrobed. They would both blush when he would catch a glimpse of the other looking at them. Hinata offered Naruto her hand to lead him into the bathroom. Do I meet with your approval, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked as she actually showed her body to Naruto. Naruto just nodded as he scanned her beautiful body, all the curves and silky pale skin. Hinata noticed his as it started to swell. She then pulled Naruto into the bathroom. Who shall we scrub first? Hinata asked playfully. Naruto looked confused. Have you never shared a bath before? Naruto shook his head. I could only shower at home, because they would never let me in the bathhouses, other than the onsen. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun. Here, fill this bucket with warm water and dump it on yourself. Then you can sit on the chair there. Hinata said as she pointed to a small chair in the middle of a tiled area that led to drains on the side. There was a tub on the other side of the drain. Hinata started to fill the tub. Naruto stole a glance and blushed profusely. Naruto then poured the bucket over himself and then sat down. Hinata grabbed the scrub brush and the soap. She started to scrub his back. So Hinata-chan, what did you need to talk to me about? Naruto asked as he blushed from the close contact. Naruto froze as he felt her head lean against his back. What is wrong, Hinata-chan? Naruto heard quiet sobbing behind him. I am sorry, Naruto-kun, so sorry. Naruto confused. What are you sorry for? Naruto asked tenderly. I have not told you the entire truth. Hinata said as she continued to sob softly. Please don't hate me, Hinata exclaimed as she wrapped her arms around Naruto's chest. Confession and truths. Naruto heard quiet sobbing behind him. I am sorry, Naruto-kun, so sorry. Naruto confused. What are you sorry for? Naruto asked tenderly. I have not told you the entire truth. Hinata said as she continued to sob softly into his back. Please don't hate me, Hinata exclaimed as she wrapped her arms around Naruto's chest. Naruto held the arms that were around his chest, not knowing what to do or say. He felt the warm tears roll down his back. If they were facing each other, it would be easier for him to do something. The sobbing slowed. Naruto-kun, please forgive me. Hinata quietly pleaded with him. I will if I knew what it is that I need to forgive you for. Naruto replied quietly. You won't hate me? Hinata asked as if pleading for him to not be mad at her. How could I hate the woman who loves me? The first to show me love, whatever it is, I promise it will be okay, Hinata-chan. Naruto said soothingly. Hinata let go of him and walked in front of Naruto, standing there looking at him, her hands pressing the index fingers together. Well, Hinata stammered. Naruto smiled as he looked at her. Naruto reached up and grabbed her hands in his and gently pulled her down onto his lap. Hinata-chan, Naruto said softly as she sat on his leg, she seemed to be in a daze. Hinata, what is wrong? Naruto asked lovingly. Hinata jumped a little as if startled. This brought her back to reality. She was sitting on Naruto's leg and he was also in her bathroom. Huh. Naruto chuckled gently and then wrapped his arms around Hinata as he laid his head on her chest. Hinata blushed at the affection. Hinata-chan, you wanted to tell me something. You were worried that I would be angry with you. I am here now and promise I will not get angry with you. Naruto said as he turned his head and looked lovingly into her eyes. Hinata swallowed hard. Naruto-kun, I have to tell you the truth. Naruto nodded as he listened. Naruto-kun, do you remember the priestess Shion? Hinata asked with worry in her eyes. Naruto nodded. Yes, I remember her. She had a hard life growing up. She wanted to keep the future safe from demons. Naruto replied. Do you remember your promise? Hinata asked. Yes, I promised I would help her with future priestesses. Naruto replied with a look of confusion. Naruto-kun, do you remember the exact promise? Hinata asked with worry in her eyes. Naruto shook his head. Other than what I told you, no I don't. Hinata cupped Naruto's face her hands and then kissed him passionately. I like that. Naruto commented with a huge grin that caused Hinata to smile. I could get used to that. This elicited another but deeper smile from Hinata. But what does this have to do with Shion? Naruto-kun, you know I love you with all my heart, right? Hinata asked Naruto. Yes I do, and I would do anything to make you happy, even marry you now. Naruto said boldly. Hinata smiled warmly. Remember when I told you that you could be a pervert around me and one other? Hinata asked as Naruto nodded. This is where Priestess Shion comes in. Thanks to her I got the courage to come forward and admit my love for you. Well then I will have to thank her for that. I owe her a lot now. She helped me find the most beautiful, kindest, and sweetest woman in the world. The one I want to spend the rest of my life with. Naruto admitted as he laid his head back on her chest. Naruto felt a teardrop fall onto his face. He turned his head to see tears as they ran down her face. What is wrong, Hinata-chan? Naruto-kun, your promise was to father a new priestess with Shion. So that is why I said that you can be a pervert around one other. She is the other. Hinata put a finger on Naruto's lips to stop his next question. Your other mission is to father a child with Shion. Had she not put in the mission I would have taken longer to approach you. Wouldn't that sort of be like cheating on you? Naruto asked. Hinata shook her head. There are a couple of reasons why that wouldn't be so. One, you are not currently married. Even so, if we were married you are allowed mistresses or a courtesan. Also Shion is not allowed to marry, ever. Also I love you enough that she would not be a problem for us. I would accept her as an equal in love with you. I know that there is enough of you to share. You may not know it but you are full of love, even if you do not understand it yourself. Hinata again kissed Naruto lovingly. Naruto returned the kiss. He finally spoke when their kiss ended. So there is a woman out there that wants to have a child with me. With me, Naruto said with a warm smile. Hinata shook her head. No Naruto-kun, there are two. Hinata again kissed Naruto. Naruto's mind was spinning. Today had started like any other and now he was engaged to a beautiful woman, Hinata, and another beautiful woman wanted to bear him a child. Could this day get much stranger? Naruto felt Hinata breathe gently into his ear. This excited him more than he ever thought he could be. Naruto-kun, tonight, Hinata whispered, almost pleaded. Naruto looked up into Hinata's pleading eyes. She stood and then straddled him on the chair. Naruto did not know what to think. His nose started to bleed and he felt dizzy. He also heard laughter in the back of his mind. The world started spinning as he saw the ceiling fly by. Hinata realized Naruto had started to faint when his head rolled up towards the ceiling and his nose started to bleed. Hinata attempted to catch him but slipped and landed on top of Naruto. If someone had walked in at that moment they could swear that Hinata and Naruto were having. Hinata knew better. While their pelvic areas were touching he had not penetrated her. But the sensation was enough to push her over the edge and cause her to pass out from enjoyable sensation she was feeling of their bodies touching where they were and at how close they were to actually having. Hinata woke up fairly quickly and noticed she was still laying on Naruto in a truly compromising position. Her thought caused a slight nosebleed. He is still erect. If I shift just a little then I can claim him as mine. But would that be fair to Naruto-kun? I want to be his wife so bad, but I also want him to be aware for our first time. Hinata sighed and got up. I guess I will clean him up then we can talk some more. Hinata proceeded to lather up Naruto's body paying special attention to his erect. She giggled, because as she rubbed it Naruto would moan slightly. Guess he enjoyed that, Hinata thought. She finished soaping him up and then took a bucket of warm water and rinsed him off. She then carefully sat him up and washed his back. He started to stir and Hinata noticed the bump on the back of Naruto's head, it was bleeding slightly. She went through a couple hand signs and applied healing chakra to the bump, it sealed quickly and receded. Hinata guessed the Kyuubi was helping to heal Naruto. Hinata then spread Naruto's legs enough for her to sit in between them on the floor. She sat down in front of him and spread her legs to either side of his body and then scooted up close to Naruto. Hinata then wrapped her arms around Naruto and looked him in his beautiful cerulean blue eyes as they opened. "Hello Naruto-kun," Hinata said giggling. "I am sorry Naruto-kun." Naruto rubbed his head as he felt the pain of him falling. Naruto then noticed the position they were in. Another inch and her body would be touching his. He felt his rise, it brushed Hinata eliciting an "eep" and a deep crimson blush from her. This caused him to become even more excited than he was before, more so than he had ever been before. "Hinata-chan." Naruto gulped as his mind ran faster than he could talk. "Are you sure you want to now?" Hinata shook her head. "Yes Naruto-kun, I want you tonight. I am showing you how ready I am for you and how far I am willing to go for you. Will you take me tonight?" Hinata asked. "We can have the ceremony in a week or so if you want one. Also I am sorry about falling on top of you." Hinata blushed as she said it. "Did anything happen while I was out?" Naruto asked. Hinata blushed but shook her head. "I was tempted to start, but decided I wanted you awake for our first time." Hinata kissed Naruto passionately. Naruto returned the passion and scooted closer. Hinata rubbed her pelvis against his as they kissed. Hinata moaned as she felt him also rubbing against her. They broke the kiss and Naruto smiled. "Are we sure we will make it to the bed?" Naruto asked with a smirk. Hinata smirked and rubbed her pelvis against him again. "Does it matter my husband?" Hinata slyly asked. Hinata again kissed Naruto and rubbed up against Naruto. Naruto's breath was halting as his body tingled. He felt an explosion unlike he had ever felt before. He now knew what a male orgasm was as his semen flowed over both of them. Naruto panted. "I think I like that." Naruto chuckled. "What was your question again Hinata-hime?" Hinata giggled as she looked down then back at Naruto. "Well Naruto-kun, I was answering your question of if we will make it to the bed." I answered, "Does it matter my husband?" Hinata gently kissed Naruto. "I think we may not make it out of the bathroom at this rate. It looks like we need to get cleaned up again. We can then take the bath and then go to bed my husband." Hinata said teasingly. Naruto wore a surprised look on his face. "That was all we needed to do to become married." Hinata giggled. "No silly, that is what is called foreplay. We must join bodies. You must put that," she pointed down to his. "Inside me until this happens again but inside of me," she said as she pointed to his semen on both of their bodies. Hinata stood up and helped Naruto to also stand. She then grabbed the soap as Naruto filled 2 buckets of water. They scrubbed each other down and rinsed off. They entered the tub and relaxed for the next hour. "So what are the wagers between you and the Hokage?" Neji queried. "We wagered a case of good sake. The first one is for how soon they will consummate any type of marriage. Second, for how long it takes for a ceremony, or if there will be one. Third, will Hinata afterwards allow the mission to even commence?" Hiashi commented. "So how soon till I get that silly Naruto as an older brother?" Hanabi asked. "Ino is betting me that it will take him a week to go through it, Sakura thinks it will be a few days. I wagered on it happening tonight." Neji replied with a smirk. "How are they going to get married tonight? Are there any open temples?" Hanabi asked confused. Neji and Hiashi chuckled. Hanabi even more confused asked. "What is so funny?" Neji clears his throat. "There is a special ceremony that is hidden deep within the Hyuga laws. It is not practiced much anymore. It was a way to add people to the clan who shall we say either could not wait or those that were deemed necessary for the clan and thus added somewhat against their will. The law has lain dormant for a long time, since after the founding of the village if I remember correctly." Neji responded. I agree, tonight will be the night. Yes, the ceremony is seldom used and the clan council only allows it if the two people agree on it now, but I am sure they have already agreed on this as they are already engaged. Hiyashi said with a smile. So I get Naruto Nisan as a what? Hanabi asked. He will be your brother-in-law. There is also the mission. I wonder if she will keep it under wraps or if she will let it all out. Hiyashi wondered aloud. Did you engage the privacy seals? Yes, Hiyashi-sama. Last thing we want is to hear the ceremony. Neji replied with a smirk. Why would we not want to hear the ceremony? I am sure it will be beautiful, that is if Naruto Nisan doesn't screw it up. Hanabi commented. The ceremony could either be really loud or quiet, it depends on the individuals in the ceremony. I am sorry Hanabi, but you are not old enough for me to go into details about the ceremony. Also, as a hero of Konoha, it is a boon for us to have him enter the family. Hiyashi commented. He was already a hero. Neji retorted. Yes, he was a hero from the day he was born. Too bad few saw this in him. He excelled despite everything that has been thrown in his way. He will make a good husband to the head of the family and a good Hokage when it is time. Or, Neji, you or Hanabi could become the head of the family, as Hinata may want to spin off with Naruto to create a new clan. Hiyashi commented. Naruto and Hinata toweled off when they got out of the bath. They had relaxed and talked in the bath and only engaged in a discussion of how they would deal with Shion having his firstborn, as Hinata didn't feel she was ready to have children just yet. Hinata had performed a contraceptive jutsu while Naruto moved the clothes off the bed and onto the dresser. Are you sure you want to do this? There is no turning back if you feel I am not good enough for you and you don't like how the people in the village treat you. Naruto sadly said. Naruto Uzumaki, I am hurt that you think something so trivial as how the village will treat me will affect how I feel about you. Now pull the covers down and get into that bed, mister. You have a wife to take and a marriage to consummate. Am I clear? Hinata asked playfully. Naruto pulled back the covers and then grabbed Hinata, pulling her onto him as he fell on the bed. Who are you and what have done with my Hinata Haim? Naruto said as he kissed her deeply. They broke the kiss and Hinata got a devious but loving smile on her face. She is here, but she has been learning from her soon-to-be husband. Hinata replied playfully as she ground her pelvis into Naruto's, eliciting a slight moan from him. You like that? Naruto nodded as he shifted farther onto the bed, taking Hinata with him. Naruto smiled kindly, tears appeared to be welling up in his eyes. Hinata noticed and started to worry. What is wrong, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked worriedly. Naruto looked up at Hinata and pulled her down into a deep hug. Hinata, you do not know what this means to me. Hinata kissed him lightly on the lips. And you do not know what this means to me. But you can go first, my love. Hinata replied quietly, almost whispering. Ero Sennin was in love with Tsunade but could not get the intimacy he wanted or desired. That is part of the reason he was a pervert. He could not have the woman he wanted, so he would find comfort in women in brothels and the like. I figured I would also have to find the same comfort, as I thought that no one would ever want me. Naruto said as a single tear left his eye and ran to the sheets. Naruto-kun, from what I have heard, both Isaribi and I harbor feelings for you. I also hear Sesame of the Fuma clan also likes you. Now we add Shion to that list. While it isn't the Sasuke fan club, it is quite a variety of women that do like you. I dare say love you. I know I love you, otherwise we would not be in my bed right now ready to do what I believe we intend to do. Naruto-kun, a woman does not ask a man to help her bear children lightly. She must see something of value in the man to make the request. The priestess believes from her encounter with you that she will have strong children if she were to have children with you. I agree with her. Hinata commented with a very serious look on her face. Naruto averted his eyes from Hinata's. Given how I was treated over the years, and with how many times Sakura, Ino and a few other have rejected me, I figured I would never be able to find a woman until I became Hokage, and even then it would not be for love. Naruto sadly admitted. I miss the old man, and Ero Sennin. Hinata kissed Naruto lightly. I know we all miss him on certain levels. I figure it is you and Tsunade-sama miss him the most. I know the third was like a grandfather to you. Was Jiraiya-sama like a father to you? Naruto smiled warmly then chuckled. No more like a perverted grandfather. He taught me a lot more than Kakashi-sensei did. Naruto looked like he was thinking hard. What is it, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked worriedly. If this mission to Demon Country is not successful, what will happen? Naruto asked. If you and Shien have a boy, he will come to live with us. A daughter, of course, will become the next priestess. The mission is ongoing until you sire a priestess. Hinata said as she smiled warmly at Naruto. So this could be a long mission if I can't produce a girl, right? Naruto said jokingly. I guess I can share you for a little while. Hinata said with a smirk. We will stay for a couple months at first to see if you succeeded. If you do, we will return periodically to check up on Shien. We will also try to be there for the birth of your child. Naruto leaned up and kissed Hinata. Where have you been all of my life? Naruto asked with a silly grin on his face. Right behind the tree to your left, most of the time. Hinata said jokingly. Then I am glad you came out from behind the tree. I am sorry I promised to sire a child with another woman, Hinata. Naruto said sadly as he turned his head. Naruto, you did not know what you were getting yourself into, and even then it is very good that you found another that would carry your child. I too want to eventually carry your child, Naruto-kun. Hinata said quietly. Hinata turned Naruto's head with her hand and kissed him passionately. Naruto-kun, Hinata looked longingly into his eyes. Please, Hinata pleaded. Naruto nodded as he shifted Hinata's hips over his own. They continued to kiss passionately. Hinata suddenly stopped kissing and shifted. Some Naruto moaned in excitement and pleasure. Hinata slowly slid herself down on his erection, stopping when the head touched her hymen. Naruto-kun, Hinata said passionately as she looked into his eyes. After this we will be married by custom of the Hyuga clan. Do you wish to be my husband? Yes, for more reasons than I can count, yes. Naruto leaned up and kissed Hinata deeply. I will marry you, if you will have me. Hinata smiled warmly at Naruto. Bear with me as this may hurt me a little and it may take some time to get used to it. Hinata warned. I will wait for you, Hinata-hime, until the end of time. Naruto said as he looked deeply into her eyes. Hinata lowered herself further, feeling the tearing of her hymen. To her surprise, it only had a little ways to tear and was not as painful as she thought it would be. She finally lowered herself so that her pelvis and his touched. Naruto let out a soft moan at the same time she did. Naruto had steadied her by the waist as she moved up again, sending shudders of pleasure through the young couple. Hinata started to rock herself back and forth on his pelvis. This sent even moved shudders of pleasure through them both. Hinata felt herself not being able to control the speed of the rocking motion. She wanted more, so she rocked faster. Naruto could not believe this feeling. His body tingled with pleasure and all he felt he could do was go along with the feeling as Hinata increased the speed of her rhythm. He heard her breathing become halting and watched as her shoulders collapsed in as she put her hands on his chest to steady herself. Naruto's body had adjusted to the rhythm and he was now raising his pelvis for stronger, deeper thrusts. Naruto felt his own breath start to become halting and he felt his whole body shudder, and then he felt sudden bliss. Right at that moment he felt a sudden explosion of pleasure in his as he exploded for the second time that night. He noticed that Hinata's body seemed to be in spasms. The look on her face, he was sure similar to his, a contortion of pleasure with a slight bit of pain. Hinata felt Naruto's release at the same time as she had hit her own. She was breathing heavily and felt a chill run up her spine. Hinata looked down at Naruto and saw a huge smile on his face, a smile she had never seen before. Both Naruto and Hinata were both breathing heavily as if they had been working out for hours, but only a dozen minutes had passed. Hinata lay down on Naruto's chest only to be enfolded in his embrace. Naruto gently kissed the top of Hinata's head. That was incredible, Naruto said as he squeezed her warmly. Hinata did not want to move from that position ever again. To Hinata's surprise and pleasure, she found that Naruto recovered quickly from just about anything. They spent the next several hours making love a few more times before finally going to sleep. Hinata heard a knock on her door. She had had the most wonderful dream. She and Naruto had made love several times last night. She did like the smell of her pillow, it reminded her of Naruto. If only last night was not a dream. She shifted to find she was not wearing her normal nightshirt, she was completely. She lifted the covers to find her not wearing anything and a male body was her pillow. She looked up and saw Naruto's smiling, but sleeping face. Last night was not a dream. Hinata shifted up and kissed Naruto, who wrapped his arms around her and returned the kiss with passion. There was again a knock at the door. Hinata-sama, breakfast will be ready in about 30 minutes. Also Naruto-kun is not in his room. I hope you had an enjoyable night. I will see you at breakfast. Neji said through the door. Hinata would almost say that there was some mirth in his voice that she could not point to the source. Morning, beautiful. Naruto said as he kissed Hinata again. Morning, my loving husband, Naruto-kun. Hinata replied playfully. Naruto lifted the sheets and held a look of surprise on his face. Did we do what I think we did last night? I remember it, but I can't believe we did it. Naruto said, surprised. You did not want to become one with me? Hinata asked, sounding hurt. Naruto smirked and wrapped his arm around Hinata. Should we do it again to prove that I want to marry you? Naruto said with a twinkle in his eye. I would love to, but we need to get cleaned up and go to breakfast with father, Hanabi and Neji-Nisan. Hinata replied as she kissed Naruto and then stood letting the sheets fall behind her. Hinata watched Naruto's eyes move up and down her figure. His eyes came to rest on her own eyes. You are beautiful, not just physically, but in every way. Naruto said quietly. Hinata blushed and then leaned over and kissed Naruto passionately. We need to get cleaned up and to breakfast before we cause a commotion. Hinata said quietly. Learning. Naruto and Hinata walked briskly down the hallway, hand in hand wearing morning kimonos. Both had content grins plastered on their faces as they walked towards the dining room. Hinata and Naruto bowed their heads to the few branch members who they passed along the way. Hinata slid the door open and both Naruto gasped in surprise as they saw not just Hiashi, Neji and Hanabi, but about 30 others in the room. Included in the group were Tsunade, Shizune and of all people Konohamaru. Naruto-san and Hinata-oji-san, please sit beside me. Hiashi pointed to a couple of pillows next to him, on his right. Naruto and Hinata nodded as they made their way to the head table and sat down. Hiashi sat at the center of the long table with Hinata and Hanabi on his right and his left respectively. Naruto sat to Hinata's right, while Tsunade and Shizune sat to Naruto's right, in that exact order. To Hanabi's left sat an unknown Hyuga about her age, then Konohamaru, Neji and another unknown Hyuga. Hiashi whispered into Hinata's ear, she immediately turned red but nodded to his question. Hiashi nodded thanks to his daughter and turned to address the room. Welcome family and guests. We have an announcement to make. Hiashi said in booming voice. Hinata grabbed Naruto's hand and held it tight as she bit her lip. Naruto noticed this and gave her hand a reassuring squeeze. We are here to formalize the wedding of my eldest and the hero of the village. Several of the gathered looked confused then saw who was sitting by Hinata. Hiashi-sama, you do not mean to imply that, that monster is her intended husband, do you? An elderly woman inquired to Hiashi. And why not? He is a capable shinobi and strong to boot. Hiashi asked pointedly to the woman. We do not want his kind in the clan. The woman responded. You do not want a strong warrior with several possible Kekkei Genkei in the family? Hinata demanded angrily, defending Naruto somewhat to his surprise. The surprise was in how strongly she defended him with her voice. What could he bring into this family? The woman asked. He has rapid healing, huge chakra reserves, amazing tactical skills and a desire never to give up. Hinata replied angrily. Hinata-hime, you are not thinking straight, he has influenced you. The woman said in a dismissive tone. Do you forget where Kekkei Genkei originate? Hinata turned and looked at both Naruto and Tsunade who both nodded. They come from genetics, child, and you would have known that if you had not been infatuated with that monster. The woman continued her tirade. Kekkei Genkai came initially from either breeding with demons or the offspring of Jinchuriki. Hinata looked at Naruto as if pleading. She then whispered, "Can I say it out loud?" To which Naruto nodded. "You would have the child of that monster then. Then we will make sure you have the seal placed upon you and all your spawn." The woman stated angrily. "You will do no such thing, as I am heir and my husband is a Jinchuriki and would not be pleased to have his children having a seal placed upon them. I am sure he could impress upon you not to try to mess with our children if I do not get to you first." Hinata replied angrily. This statement shocked most in the room except for Hiashi and Neji, who smirked at this, and Tsunade, who was slightly miffed that she had yet again lost a bet against Naruto. "When were you married, child?" A man a few seats away from the angry woman asked. "Last night, Akio. We wed last night in a private ceremony." Hinata replied, blushing. Akio stood and bowed to Hinata and then to Naruto. "I am pleased to see you happy, Lady Hinata, and congratulations, Naruto-sama. Welcome to the family," Akio said with a smile and then sat down. Both Naruto and Hinata bowed to Akio. "Akio, you always were a softie," the woman stated to Akio. "It is better than being a bitter old hag, Haruka," Akio stated, and elicited laughter from others in the crowd. "How many among you do not favor this union?" Hiashi inquired from the crowd. About half the hands were raised to his question. "Even knowing that he is the favored by our current Hokage?" A few hands fell, but not many. Hiashi looked at Tsunade, who nodded. "Even if I were to tell you that he is the son of the fourth Hokage and heir to both the Namikaze and Uzumaki clans?" At that statement only a few hands were still raised. Naruto had been listening to the exchange with slight enjoyment as Akio and Haruka bickered about Hinata and his relationship. As Hiashi listed off Tsunade's favor towards him, he was slightly dejected at the lack of support for Tsunade in the crowd. He was then blindsided and stunned by Hiyashi's statement that Naruto was the son of the fourth Hokage. Naruto looked up at Hiashi in disbelief. Hiashi looked directly at Naruto, who looked white as a sheet. Naruto began to shake his head and slide back from the table. Hiyashi's face turned to a stern look and nodded towards Naruto as the crowd burst into protest. Naruto felt so small. He moved into fight or flight mode, not knowing what to do, stood and ran from the room with Hinata close on his heels. Naruto, not remembering where his guest room was, ran into Hinata's room and collapsed against the bed. He was confused by what he had just heard. Hinata soon entered the room and embraced him in a gentle hug. Naruto, in his confusion, latched onto tight the lifeline she offered. "It is okay, Naruto-kun. It is all right. I am here for you," Hinata said in a soothing voice as she cradled Naruto in her chest. "This is an outrage. How can you say that he is the son of our most illustrious Hokage?" Hakura bitterly asked. Tsunade stood with an angered expression. "He is the son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. He was not told this to both protect him and make sure it did not swell his head and get himself killed by enemies of both his father and Konoha. The way you have treated him is like the plague. He is a special person who has protected this village for years and even now is protecting all of us. It is true that bloodlines come from the offspring of both demons and Jinchuriki. Naruto is our resident Jinchuriki, the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox. He is strong and would add a lot to any clan he went into. Also, your heir is in love with him and has married him, so you have nothing you can say about it," Tsunade stated. "There was not ceremony, was there? She just let him into her bed, didn't she? Hiashi, you should be ashamed that your daughter for being such a tramp," Hakura accused. "She is not a tramp, and yes, she did bed him last night, and by Hyuga law they are married, as there is a majority that does not oppose this union. So shut your ranting, Hakura, or face becoming a branch member. Also, Naruto is slated to be the next Hokage. It is both a political and heartfelt boon for this family that Naruto is now Hinata's husband. I approve, and you will also," Hiashi stated, almost demanded their loyalty. Tsunade watched as Hiashi began to get the clan elders and council under control. Neji gently grabbed her arm and led her into the hallway. "I can lead you to Naruto-san if you so desire," He looked flustered when he left. I will also have some food sent to the room for all of you to eat. Neji explained as Tsunade nodded. Neji proceeded to lead Tsunade down a hallway. Naruto was not sure what to do, cry, scream or both. His father was the fourth Hokage and had sealed the Kyuubi into him. The irony seemed just too much to bear. Hinata continued to providing comfort by hugging him and cradling his head to her chest. For that he was thankful, as she was always nice to him and now she seemed to want to be there for him. Few others would do that for him. Naruto looked up into soft lavender eyes, he saw concern and something else he could not place. It is okay Naruto-kun, I am here for you. I will always be here for you. I will do whatever we need to do to help you through this and to help you understand what is going on. Hinata's soft voice was reassuring and soothing. Naruto could only nod and return his head to her chest and try to figure things out. Did you know? Naruto finally asked quietly. Know that you were the fourth son? No, Naruto-kun, I didn't. It would have made no difference to me anyways. I love you, not who your father was. You are not your father, you are Naruto-kun, the man I love and the one I have loved for years. Hinata gently kissed Naruto on top of his head. Thanks Hinata-chan, Naruto said as he hugged her gently. You are welcome Naruto-kun. Hinata replied gently. They sat there in each other's arms for several minutes until there was a knock on the door. Hinata-sama, the Hokage would like to come in and explain a few things to you and Naruto-kun. Would that be acceptable? Neji's voice came through the door. Hinata looked down at Naruto who just nodded. Yes, you may enter Hokage-sama. Hinata replied. The door opened and Tsunade stepped through the doorway. Tsunade entered and closed the door behind her. She walked over and put a gentle hand on Naruto's shoulder. How are you doing, Kido? Tsunade asked as she knelt down to look Naruto in the eyes. Naruto looked at her, his eyes moist, but he had not cried yet. I don't know whether I should laugh or cry. Naruto replied. It's a lot to take in all at once. Tsunade asked with a warm smile. You're telling me, the man I looked up to all my life turns out to be the man that stuck this demon in my gut. I had come to grips with him sticking it in my gut to protect the village. That is what a Hokage does. But to not tell me about it. What did you think I would blab it or become like Sasuke and go on about the power of my family? Naruto asked. No, Tsunade replied kindly as she wrapped Naruto and Hinata in a hug. Your father had some really bad enemies, both here and outside of the village. You would have been a target for other shinobi or villages. But I was always put down and shunned by the village. I finally find a friend and he turns into an egomaniac with a death wish, mine was second on his list. I also get partnered with a girl who pounded me into the pavement at the first opportunity and totally overlooked who I was. I know Hinata-chan here didn't, but I didn't know any better. No one taught me right from wrong. I had to learn it myself. I had to learn most everything myself. I even had people try to sabotage that. I know why people hate me, but I didn't have any control over it. If I am his son, then why was I put through such hell? Naruto pleaded for answers. Naruto, your father's wish was for you to be seen as a hero, because you would be keeping the Kyuubi at bay. You were to be told when you met one of a set of criteria. First being marriage, second was becoming Jonin, third was reaching your 18th birthday, or lastly if you were about to die. These were put down by your father to protect you. As for how the others treated you, I can't say. Some feared that you would become the Kyuubi, others thought you were the Kyuubi incarnate. Others followed what they saw, thus further alienating you. But some, like your wife here, looked past your faults and saw the real you. You have a power with people, not everyone but quite a few. You change them for the better. Tsunade reassured Naruto. What about Sasuke? Naruto inquired. You can't save everyone. He was a bad seed and just needed to grow at his own pace. I know you don't want to give up on him, but you now have a family to watch over. This is just another step in becoming Hokage. You take care of what you can and let go of those things you can't control. Sasuke left of his own accord and nothing we could have done would have stopped him, short of killing him. Tsunade explained with a sigh. I am not telling you to give up your quest to save him, but I am telling you to give me grandchildren. Naruto looked at Tsunade with a confused look on his face. I am not ready. Oh, the mission to Demon Country. Naruto recalled. So you told him? Tsunade asked as Hinata nodded. So he took it well. Hinata again nodded. Do you as his wife have any problem with the mission? Hinata shook her head. Good. Now I will leave you two alone. Tsunade turned and again looked at Naruto. Come to me when you are ready to learn about your father. Naruto nodded. I would advise you keep this knowledge to yourself for a while and your marriage also. We don't want Akatsuki to use it against you. And yes, I know that Hinata is strong, but she does not have the power of a Biju to back her up like you do. Oh, and congratulations, you too. Are you going to have an actual ceremony? Hinata nodded to the question. Yes, we will do that in a little while. You will be invited, but we are not sure when. Naruto-kun has a lot to deal with in the last day or so. I will try to help him through it, but we just started our relationship and we already have a ton of baggage. Hinata smiled and hugged Naruto hard. I wouldn't have it any other way. I have Naruto-kun now and I am never letting go. Hinata smiled as a tear fell from her eye and splashed on Naruto's face. Naruto felt his stomach tied in knots and then returned the hug to Hinata. His emotions finally broke. He began to sob into Hinata's chest, apologizing the whole time. Tsunade turned and knelt down again to embrace Naruto in an attempt to soothe him with Hinata's help. After a few minutes, Naruto calmed down and Tsunade left the room. Naruto had fallen asleep in Hinata's arms as they had sat on the bed. Hinata gently laid back and went back to sleep with the man that she loved. They woke up an hour or two later to the sound of a stomach growling. Both Naruto and Hinata laughed as they woke to the noise of both of their stomachs making said noise. Shall we raid the kitchen? Hinata asked with a sly grin. Naruto nodded as he started to get up. He was stopped short of leaving the bed by a hand on his arm. He turned to find lips connected to his. The passion in the kiss was almost overwhelming. He tried to return the passion but did not seem capable. The kiss finally broke and Hinata smiled. Wow, was all Naruto could say in reply to the kiss. Hinata grinned shyly. I wanted another kiss. Naruto chuckled. I could tell. Naruto replied and gently kissed Hinata in return. Let's get some food, then we can talk some more. You and I also have a mission to do. It was etiquette training, I believe. Naruto smiled and pulled Hinata out of bed and led her to the door. Now where is the kitchen in this place? Naruto opened the door and came face to face with a smiling Neji. I will lead the way, Naruto-sama. I can say the issue of your marriage has been resolved and the knowledge of you father is to be held by those in attendance at the gathering. The only one I would worry about is the third Hokage's grandson. Neji stated as he led the newlyweds to the kitchen. Thanks, Neji. You are a real friend. Naruto said as he set his hand gently on Neji's shoulder. It is the least I can do for the man that showed me the light when I was in darkness. You helped me in more ways than I can ever repay. You are my friend and also now my cousin. Neji said with a smirk. You also helped me win a bet with Sakura, and for that I thank you. Naruto stopped dead in his tracks. Does everyone know about Hinata-chan and I? Naruto asked, incredulous about everyone knowing about Hinata's affection but him. Sakura does not know yet, but for the bet to be formalized I will need to inform her. Unless you want her to pick on you for not marrying Hinata quickly. Neji stated with a smirk on his face. Neji bowed and raised his right arm presenting the kitchen. You have arrived at your destination, Naruto-sama, Hinata-sama. Thank you, Neji-Nisan. We will see you at lunch. Hinata inquired. Hi, I will be there. Hiyashi-sama also had a question for you to ponder, Naruto-sama. Neji stated with all seriousness. What is that? Naruto asked with a serious look on his face. What name will you take for your family? Neji asked, looking Naruto directly in the eye. He then held up a hand. You do not need to decide now. It is something for Hinata-sama and you to discuss. She will let you know the intrinsic meaning of each possible family name you may choose. We look forward to your answer, Naruto-sama. Enjoy your snack before lunch. With that, Neji bowed and dismissed himself. Naruto looked confused at Hinata. Hinata-chan. What did he mean? Hinata giggled as she made some breakfast, consisting of eggs, sausage and some toast. Well, Naruto-kun, our family name has meaning. We could take your father's name and start the Namikaze clan. This might anger some of the Hyuga in that they would not want the Byakugan to be in another clan, but as the son of a Hokage you in a way outrank them and are on the same level of status as my father. Naruto looked even more bewildered while he scratched his head. Huh. Hinata giggled. Let me finish and then we can discuss it. Hinata waited until Naruto nodded agreement. Let's say you were to take the Hyuga name and you would become Naruto Hyuga. This would effectively end both the Namikaze and Uzumaki lines, well except for any children you would have with Shion. You could choose for them to take either the Namikaze or Uzumaki name or you could have them also take the Hyuga name, but they would in a way be outcasts from the clan. That did not make Naruto happy but he nodded for Hinata to continue. Any children we have a good chance of having the Byakugan, thus they would be coveted by the clan as they might end up stronger than Neji Nisan's children when he has any. The clan would want them to have the Hyuga name. Hinata giggled yet again when she saw a light go on in Naruto's eyes. There is also the possibility that none of our children will have the Byakugan, but our grandchildren might, again they would be wanted to have the Hyuga name. The family name carries weight. Namikaze carries the weight of a former Hokage. The Hyuga carries the weight of the clan and our abilities. The Uzumaki carries the weight of your own accomplishments, that of your mother's and her family if she had any. Hinata finished as she set a plate in front of Naruto and one for herself. So you're saying that if I mean we choose Uzumaki or Namikaze we could run into trouble with the Hyuga? Naruto asked as he put some eggs into his mouth. Hinata nodded her response. Naruto swallowed the eggs then returned to his questioning. Namikaze would come with less problems because of my dad being the former Hokage. Hinata nodded and smiled. Yes, but you would then have to become even stronger and better than your father to come out of his shadow. A hard thing to do. He was a hero of the Third Shinobi War and killer, sealer of the Kyuubi. You are Naruto Uzumaki, container of the Kyuubi, completer of the Rasengan, and the new Toad Sage. All are great accomplishments but you still need to become Hokage to equal the stature of your father. Naruto finished some more food before he replied. So the easy way would be to accept the Hyuga name, right? Hinata nodded to his question. Naruto appeared to be thinking hard. There is also the head of the clan thing. How would they react to you taking either the Uzumaki or Namikaze names? We can talk to father about that. I am not sure how they would react. I have my own ideas on what to do. Hinata said with a smirk. You do. I would like to hear them. Hiyashi chortled as he entered the kitchen. So this is where you both ran off to. Father. You want to hear what I would do. Hinata replied nervously. Naruto put his hand upon hers to help steady her nerves. Yes, I would. Those old windbags took some convincing to accept this, but some are happy for your both. Hiyashi comments with a faraway smile. Hinata swallowed hard and took a breath. Well, I would outlaw the curse seal for one. It has changed from a protection to a tool of torture that is being used by the main branch against the side branch. Most of the side branch resent the fact of the seal. Hinata hesitantly answered. Hiyashi rubbed his chin as he thought. I agree, but how would you protect it from being stolen similar to Kakashi Hatake? Hinata's face turned to mild annoyance. Kakashi-sensei uses it to the village's benefit. Also, it would require major surgery to actually use eyes from a Hyuga in that fashion. The veins near the eyes would have to be enlarged and the chakra pathways would have to be altered. Not a simple rush job like his was in the field. I read the reports that Rin filed. Also, let's not forget the time I was nearly kidnapped by Kumo, and Uncle Hazashi died because we did not want a war. I feel that Kumo should have dropped the issue then, but to keep the peace Hazashi died so that you could live and we would not give up the Byakugan. If they want it so bad, then they should send someone here to woo one of our people to marry into one of their clans. They would then have the Byakugan. Hiyashi attempted to defend the clan's actions. Yes, but they would not have someone who is quite proficient with it and who would train them in the use. We would not have to. Having something and being able to use it effectively is not the same thing. Hinata replied. You see now why she was chosen as your teacher in etiquette. Hiashi looked at Naruto. Naruto nodded. She has very good arguments but did not show disrespect to your arguments. Naruto replied. You can learn Naruto-san, I am impressed. Hiashi complimented while he joked. Father, is that how you treat my husband? I may not let you see your grandchildren when they come. Hinata retorted jokingly as she was clearly offended by Hiashi's comments. Hiashi put his hands up in surrender. Be careful Naruto-san, you have created a monster in my daughter. Naruto looked at Hiashi as if confused by his comment. She has become very confident now that she has what she wants. She will serve you well as an advisor when you become Hokage. She will not insult you in front of others while helping give you advice. You mean like Sakura-chan would hit me when I would screw up or even if I wouldn't? Naruto questioned. Hiashi nodded. I would not look good for our Hokage to be pummeled by an advisor while in an important meeting. Hiashi chuckled at the thought of Naruto being hit while in a meeting. I would not go over well. Naruto smiled wide and squeezed Hinata's hand. Well, I don't have to worry about that because I have Hinata-chan now. Hiashi sat with Hinata and Naruto until the help came to prepare lunch, discussing the finer points of etiquette and manners. Naruto's head was spinning when they were shooed out of the kitchen and into the dining room. Lunch was quiet other than Hanabi asking questions about Jinchuriki. Naruto attempted to explain his guest, and why he was not liked by most of the village. Hanabi only reply to his explanation was, that's dumb. Naruto and Hinata left the Hyuga compound after lunch to find a quiet place to talk. Decisions. The next month flew by for both Naruto and Hinata. Naruto's team was rearranged to include Hinata, who accompanied him almost everywhere. The etiquette lessons were going well. Naruto even learned some of the things he was supposed to learn at the academy. His prankster side came out and he pulled some pranks on the responsible academy teachers for not teaching him what he should have learned. Kakashi also fell victim to one of these pranks. Now when the wedding was announced, it thus left Naruto and Hinata to figure out the wedding plans. Naruto was quite disappointed when he looked at the guest list. His side had about 30 people on it while Hinata's had most of the clan. The only good point was that Neji took Naruto's side for the wedding, being the best man and all. Naruto would have asked Konohamaru to do it, but he turned Naruto down. Naruto had invited Gaara and all three of the Sand siblings showed up. Naruto apologized for not making Gaara best man, but was not actually sure he would have wanted the job. Gaara accepted the apology and told Naruto not to worry about it. Neji actually was the best part of having as the best man. He actually schooled Naruto in male etiquette, thus he would not embarrass himself in front of the crowd. With Tsunade presiding over the wedding, Naruto and Hinata exchanged vows. Naruto, though, was quite nervous, since he didn't want to screw up the ceremony for Hinata's sake. Naruto accomplished his goal of not screwing anything up and was richly rewarded that night by a very happy wife. Hinata learned just how much stamina Naruto possessed, since they didn't sleep until the next night. Naruto woke to a happy sight. His beautiful wife was sleeping next to him and was using his shoulder as a pillow. Naruto created a shadow clone as to not disturb his wife and get them some breakfast. The clone dressed and left the room silently. It returned about 20 minutes later with a tray of food. Hinata stirred as she noticed the smell of the food. She opened her eyes to see an awake Naruto standing fully dressed at the door and a bare chest under her head. If he is standing there, who am I sleeping on? Hinata asked herself as she panicked and sat up in bed. She had forgot that they went to bed in the buff, so she backed away from the man in the bed until she realized that he man had blonde hair and whisker marks on his face. She looked between the Naruto in her bed and the one in the doorway. Her hand traversed between them. Shadow clone. The one in the doorway nodded as he closed the door and smiled as he approached the bed with the tray of food. Sorry Hinata-hime, I didn't want to disturb you, so I had the clone go and make breakfast for us. After the wedding I figured you'd not want to do much walking for the next day or so. Naruto admitted with a downtrodden look on his face. Hinata cupped his chin and kissed Naruto deeply. No, I'm sorry Naruto-kun. I forgot that you used shadow clones and was scared that another man was in our bed, Hinata admitted with a blush and a hug. Naruto laughed and scratched his head. Well, I forget things too, so you're forgiven, Naruto said, as he kissed Hinata passionately. As nice as this scene is, do you guys want the breakfast or not? The Naruto clone asked in an annoyed voice. Naruto pulled the cover over himself and Hinata as they sat up in bed. Yes, you can bring it over here, Naruto replied, as the clone left the food and then disrobed. Naruto-kun, why is your clone taking off his clothes? Hinata asked. She really didn't mind as she enjoyed seeing Naruto in the buff more than she liked to admit. The clothes are real, he is a clone though, and I don't want to have the clothes scattered around the room, Naruto answered, as he saw a gleam in Hinata's eyes. I have an idea, but we can do it after breakfast, Naruto said with a lecherous grin. After breakfast was eaten, Naruto put the tray on the desk near the bed and proceeded to teach Hinata how to do the shadow clone jutsu. She was able to do it quickly enough, but what happened next caught her totally by surprise. Naruto grinned and grabbed one of the clones after making one of his own. The clones and the original proceeded to have a love-making session. When they completed, Naruto smiled as he told Hinata about what happens when the clone is released. Hinata was not ready for the feedback and nearly passed out with the memories of her clone making love to her husband after his clone had made love to her. So turned on after this, she jumped her husband for yet another session. Just as they reached a mutual climax, there was a knock on the door. The door opened with Hanabi and Neji looking directly at a Hinata sitting on top of a sweating Naruto. Neji immediately covered Hanabi's eyes only to remember that she also had the Byakugan. He looked down to see Hanabi's face turn red as the veins near her eyes slowly recede. Naruto-sama, don't you think you have taken enough time with your wife? Hinata grabbed the sheets and covered herself as best as she could as she forward into Naruto's chest with an eep. Naruto glared at Neji as he rubbed Hinata's back. It helps if you knock before you enter, then things like this wouldn't happen. And, no, I have not had enough time with my beautiful wife. Were they? Hanabi asked with a blush.